In 1993, the FAA started warning pilots to stay away from a certain section of airspace over Alaska. The U.S. government was experimenting with a new breed of high-altitude electronic technology that was significantly altering the Alaskan airspace. The experiments continue to this day, and critics are warning that this project could have global effects that will destroy our planet. In Alaska, the rugged, pristine wilderness is timeless, most of it remaining just as it has for thousands of years. In the midst of all this natural beauty, just outside the small town of Gakona, stands an enormous and seemingly harmless antenna farm. It is a $100 million Air Force project known as HARP, and critics of the soon-to-be completed facility charge it just may turn out to be the ultimate doomsday machine.
It's got all the marks of Dr. Strangelove on it.
HARP is an acronym for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. According to program manager John Hesher, HARP is a research facility designed to study the ionosphere.
All the military have communications, surveillance, navigation systems whose paths either traverse the ionosphere or reflect from it. And so we need to be very careful about what we know about it and how we study it. What we're interested in is what is the effect of a large input of energy on the ionosphere.
The ionosphere is the outermost layer of the Earth's atmosphere. It is part of an electromagnetic field that keeps out harmful solar and cosmic radiation. One visible effect of the sun's rays hitting the ionosphere is the aurora borealis, known as the northern lights. The ionosphere also plays a vital role in worldwide radio communication.
The first transmission of radio waves across the ocean were quite a surprise when it was first done. People thought there'd be no chance to transmit the signals across the ocean by wireless. And in fact, what the ionosphere does is act like a mirror. And so you transmit a signal and it bounces off the ionosphere and then it bounces off the Earth.
When HARP is fully operational, it will transmit extremely powerful blasts of high-frequency radio waves directly up into the atmosphere, superheating the electrons that make up the ionosphere. This will cause them to disperse, effectively punching a hole in the ionosphere.
But after you turn the instrument off, this thing kind of moves around and it gets replenished. And within a few minutes, it's back to where you can't even detect that there's a hole anymore.
The Air Force says that manipulating the ionosphere and studying the effect will allow them to improve the efficiency of communications, navigation, and surveillance systems. But researchers outside the military see HARP as a high-tech weapon with global implications.
The way I see HARP as it is right now, it is a premier, top-notch, high-energy radio physics experiment, and it has definite military applications.
Journalist Mark Farmer lives in Alaska and has written about the potential impact of HARP for both Jane's Defense Weekly and Popular Science magazine. He believes that HARP will be used to take giant X-rays of Earth.
Earth-penetrating tomography is a technique using extremely low-frequency radio waves. Today in geophysical probing, scientists will use explosives or a machine that thumps the ground to produce these waves, but HARP will stimulate the auroral electrojet to make an antenna thousands of miles long that will emit these ELF waves.
Farmer's research indicates that the extremely low-frequency waves would be capable of penetrating several kilometers into the Earth, ferreting out nuclear storage facilities and other underground military installations.
This is producing surveillance systems able to detect stealthy cruise missiles and aircraft. These are systems that will enable us to communicate at higher data rates and at greater distances with our ballistic missile submarines.
While the Air Force insists HARP is not an offensive weapon and is necessary for continuing national security, Alaskan native Nick Begich proposes a different scenario in this new book.
The things that we found in other Air Force documents, one in particular was a document put together in '82. The document was called Low Intensity Conflict in Modern Technology, with a foreword by none other than Newt Gingrich. In one section spoke about using radio frequency radiation transmitters for disrupting human thinking, for basically debilitating troops invisibly by being able to bombard them with radio frequency that was tuned to just the right frequency, in just the right waveform, so as to totally disrupt their mental process and basically debilitate those troops.
Because of HAARP's potential to disrupt the Earth's magnetic field, many observers are concerned that it will damage the biomagnetic sensors that migratory animals like salmon and birds depend upon.
Anything that HAARP can do to the magnetic field is orders of magnitude smaller than the natural variations of the Earth's field. So I would have to say, no, there's nothing we can do to affect the salmon.
But what generates the most concern by far is HAARP's ability to tamper with and punch holes in the ionosphere.
The thing that one of the Air Force documents points out is that they want to use this heater to create enough energy in the ionosphere to get a runaway effect up to the next stabilizing level, whatever that might be.
It's precisely whatever that might be that worries Dr. Patrick Flanagan, a physicist who believes the ionosphere is extremely fragile.
The ionosphere is a chaotic system that is on the edge of instability. So the trigger point for HAARP would be that energy and that frequency which throws the ionosphere into chaos. In other words, it would be that point which throws it over the edge.
For example, it is believed that a hole in the Earth's ozone layer has caused an increase in infrared radiation, contributing to the melting of the polar ice caps and forcing New Zealand children to wear protective clothing to school. Flanagan and others believe the potential danger from a hole in the ionosphere is much greater.
It could create a change in the ionospheric shield that protects us from cosmic radiation. We're worried about the ozone layer. The ozone layer is nothing compared to what HAARP could do. You know, we're worried about ultraviolet light. That's just a very harmless ray compared to some of those energy streams or particles that are coming from outer space that are being deflected by this natural shield around the Earth. And this is what HAARP wants to play with.
Critics worry that HAARP has been placed in the hands of too few, and that international debate is necessary to fully explore all the potential dangers that this project may soon unleash, a proposal in which the Air Force has shown little interest to date.
Once we open this box, and it is a veritable Pandora's box, we're not going to be able to close it. And of course, once you acquire a technology, you want bigger and better aspects of it. And then we come into the questions of whether or not, if we go big, if we go better, if we're going to cause damage to our planet.
Proponents of HAARP insist the danger has been grossly exaggerated. The project continues to move forward as scheduled and will be fully operational by 1997.
Next, they started an...
As they continue to record, this fireball seems to morph into an unusual object resembling a rotating ship. Then on December 15th, 2018, Abel's friend's home security camera, activated by movement, records a puzzling sight. A young child in a white dress is seen wandering through the neighbor's yard late at night.
Ma, ese muñeco acaba de sonar solo y se está moviendo solo. ¡Movete, sapo perro! Mamá. 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 Se lo juro que yo no he activado nada. Mamá. Uy, quieto.
Gwendolyn Servright said that she had went outside with a spotlight to scare away stray cats on her property when she seen this and decided to try to record it on her phone. So Gwendolyn lives on tribal lands in Saskatchewan, Canada. There is a creature known by the native people of this area called an Anukin, which is essentially a tiny person. They are believed to be around 1 foot to 3 feet tall and to be magical beings. They have incredible strength and tend to come out only at night. So, what do you think Gwendolyn captured on video?
Laura tells us that despite reviewing the video over and over again, she still cannot believe what she saw. Until now, both she and her colleagues find it completely inexplicable how out of the blue, one of her colleagues was literally lifted from his chair by an individual but powerful force. In fact, the fall was so hard that he suffered several injuries that kept him hospitalized for a few days. How is it possible? What was it that attacked this employee? For now, our follower says that she's afraid of going back to work there, since she fears that she will be the next victim. What would you do in her place? Let me know your opinion in the comment section.
Subhanallah.
I don't know if you guys saw my last video, but I have to get out of my house. I can't stay here. I don't know if you guys saw my last video about when I thought I heard something in my house, and I went in here and I scanned everywhere and I saw a face. I don't know, I think it was my brain playing tricks on me. But in my last video, there was like a face right in here when I was like looking to make sure nothing was in here. Holy that just scared the crap out of me. And I got a letter in the mail telling me to stop posting about things that have been happening. If you want to keep up with what's going on, then you're gonna have to follow me on Instagram, because I don't know if I can continue on here. Gotta go.
This orb you're watching is actually my deceased dog. Check out my cat's reaction. They were close. He passed away last year, and he came back on the week of his anniversary the following year. There's his face, and you'll see pictures of him coming up, and there's no denying that it's my dog. I rescued him in 2009, and he never left my side, and I think he really meant that, because he never left my side even in death. So, yeah, when our pets go, they're never really gone.
I know I'm not crazy, because there's definitely somebody standing right there. And now they're gone. Tell me I'm fucking not nuts. And now they're back. You see it? tell me I'm fucking crazy. That's the creepiest shit I've ever seen in my life. Absolutely not.
Curtain number 1 is